If you enjoy vibrant cities that are walkable with art, music, lots of nature, Asheville may be the city for you. In this video, I'll share 5 fun things to do if you're ever visiting. Before we begin, let's start with some history. Asheville is a small city in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. It's located right by the French Broad River, which is said to be the 3rd oldest river in the entire world at 250 million years old. It eventually became a hub for trading. Before the settlers arrived though, this was Cherokee land. You can learn about the current day traditions and culture of the Cherokee people by visiting the reservation, which is located near the entrance to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Asheville's real growth began though as a result of the railroad. During the Gilded Age, the wealthy New York City elite, like the Vanderbilts, started to take the train down south to enjoy the crisp mountain air. These wealthy families' presence brought money to the city of Asheville, and multiple industries like manufacturing, tourism, and the arts grew. Over the years, striking architecture developed, reflecting different styles, including Gothic, Art Deco, and Spanish Renaissance. Arguably the most prolific building built here, though, was the Biltmore Estate. George Vanderbilt II worked with Richard Morris Hunt and Frederick Law Olmsted on the massive house and gardens. While I did not include the Biltmore Estate on my list of recommendations for things for you to visit, mainly because some locals consider it a tourist trap and the price to enter is very expensive, it is incredibly impressive. The Biltmore Estate is the largest privately owned home in America, with over 250 rooms on 8,000 acres. Asheville was hit hard though by the Great Depression. In fact, Asheville had the highest per capita debt of any city in America. But it's one of the few cities that actually paid back every cent that it owed, eventually in 1977. This took decades. The decision to slowly pay off all the debts was the reason why many of the beautiful historic buildings were preserved. There wasn't money to tear them down and rebuild. Today, it's a city for artists and breweries with such a friendly and inviting community. With that brief history covered, let's get into my first recommendation if you're traveling to Asheville, and that is to go foraging. Asheville thrives with its farm-to-table culture, and many of its restaurants get their produce locally. If you get the chance, No Taste Like Home offers a guided foraging tour, and it was amazing. We learned about all kinds of plants and which ones were edible. My favorite plant that I learned about was called sassafras. When you chew it up, the consistency is kind of like thick and almost gelatinous. So it's used in gumbo and to thicken up things like stews. And the root of the sassafras plant smells exactly like root beer, and that's because that's what the flavor of root beer is. After the guided learning, we split off from the group and we picked anything that we saw that we thought might be edible. Then we brought our basket of what we had collected to our foraging expert.
Red cabrucelas, and we just say don't eat any of them because some of them are pukers. None of them are deadly poisonous.
Who informed us what was actually edible. Most of the things we picked were not. After that, we reviewed what we had learned, and then they used what we picked to actually make a little appetizer, which was so cool. It was a pricey activity at $85 per person, but it was 3 hours, and I thought that it was worth it. If you are on a budget though, definitely make sure to check out some of the hikes. Just explore the nature. Do be careful of bears. I didn't see any, but I heard about them being around. And if you're trying to forage for free on your own, also be careful because most mushrooms that you see you probably can't eat. The next thing I would recommend is to see some live music. One bar that is worth a visit is called Jack of the Wood Pub. It feels just like you've stepped into Ireland when you walk inside. The music that was playing as soon as we walked in was similar to trad music, which I talked about in my Ireland video linked here. Appalachian music does have strong ties to Celtic music because of the migration of Irish to the area. While this music that we heard as soon as we walked in sounded a lot like trad music, it did sound distinctly Appalachian in the singing style and the lyrics. Which was so cool. My favorite thing though had to be the dancing, which is a style that I believe is called buck dancing. everywhere in the city, even places that you wouldn't expect. One of our favorites was a speakeasy called the Crow and Quill. It had an unassuming entrance that you could easily miss if you did not know it was there. And as soon as you step inside, it has the coolest aesthetic. It's dimly lit with an old-timey Prohibition feel. And the jazz band that we saw that night was incredible. The next recommendation is to check out a brewery tour. Asheville attracted craft brewers because of its welcoming atmosphere. Even though different breweries were technically competition, they all supported each other and worked together. And also its high quality water supply that was coming from the Great Smoky Mountains. Water is used in the distilling process. There were several breweries to pick from, but we decided to go with Sierra Nevada because of our ties to California. As a side note, I know a lot of people say Nevada, but I grew up saying Nevada. What do you say? Let me know in the comments. Founders Ken Grossman and Paul Camusi started brewing in Chico in 1980, and people were amazed by the flavor of their beer. This was right as the craft beer scene started to emerge. Their pale ale earned multiple awards and a cult following. Eventually, Ken became the sole owner, and in 2012, they opened up their second brewing location in Mills River, North Carolina, which is right by Asheville. Ken prioritized being carbon neutral in the brewing process, which is very impressive because tons of water and energy is used. And this specific building is the only LEED Platinum certified brewery in the USA, which is so impressive. The building was spotless and you could feel the care put into every step of the brewing process. I also loved that we got to see the hops up close.
Whoa! It smells crazy.
Think of a hop that speaks to you. Hands look like hands a little sticky. You'll put it in between your hands, rub it around, get some friction going, and then give it a whiff.
They smell interesting. After the tour, we had a beer tasting, which is included in the $12 ticket. And this is when I learned that I like porter beer. I just assumed because of the color it would taste more intense, but really it just tastes a little smoother and toasted and nutty. Afterward, we went to the restaurant that's on site. It blew us away! We had duck confit fries and pickled shrimp, which sounds weird. When I hear that, I think ew, but it was executed impeccably. If you're not a beer person, I would still say it's worth a visit for the restaurant alone. Grovewood Village is a 10-minute drive north of Asheville, and here you'll catch a glimpse of history surrounded by beautiful nature. This art campus is situated right by the iconic Omni Grove Park Inn, which was a filming location for Dirty Dancing. Grovewood Village was originally built in 1917 to house the weaving and woodworking operations of Biltmore Industries. The Weaving Museum was closed when we visited, but you could still peek inside and see the huge looms and equipment. While you're there, you can also visit the Antique Car Museum for free. The collection belonged to Harry D. Blomberg, a local businessman in the automotive industry. At age 19, he opened one of the first gas stations in the area and continued on to build a notable career selling cars. His collection is impressive and transports you right back in time. After wandering through the sculpture garden, another must-see here is the art gallery. This was the biggest gallery I've ever seen, and it was incredible. It features the work of over 350 artists. Most pieces in here reflect the arts and crafts period of art history, so any art nerds out there will be in heaven. The woodworking especially was so beautiful. My dream home would definitely include some of these pieces. The final item on my list is to visit the historic Montford neighborhood. If you are a fan of Victorian and Queen Anne style architecture, this one is for you. Many of these houses date back from 1890 to 1920. They've been preserved beautifully, and if you want to stay in one, many have been converted to bed and breakfasts. Wandering down these tree-lined streets is so quaint, and you might even meet some surprising new friends. After your walk, you could watch the Montford Park Players perform Shakespeare for free during the summer months, or grab some Caribbean dinner at our favorite restaurant, 9 Mile. It was so good. The food in Asheville completely blew us away. Every meal we had was really good. It is a city for foodies. That's the list. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I missed anything that you'd recommend checking out in Asheville, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.